Federal officials say an Austin man was plotting an attack. Law enforcement saying the beliefs he's accused of having put them most at risk.
And a disturbed man broadcasts a gruesome killing.
I lost everything. I lost everything I had, man.
Local analysts weigh in about why he hasn't been caught.
It's not clear who would be targeted, where it would happen, or when. But the FBI says an Austin man was planning a mass shooting.
Instead, Stephen Thomas Boley is in federal custody tonight. Acting on a tip, agents arrested him and seized guns that they say he got illegally, as well as 1,000 rounds of ammunition.
We first told you about the arrest at 5. KVUE Defender's Erica Proffer has more on where Boley lived and the beliefs that agents say fueled his murderous plot.
Stephen Thomas Boley is accused of having anti-government beliefs and answering to his own set of laws. Agents say he's part of a group that targets law enforcement and government entities. But if you step into this community where agents say Boley lived, you'll see why it may be hard to spot a threat.
Shake hands, be a good boy.
Jumper may be Jerry Jones's best friend.
Come here, get over here.
But everyone knows the man whose roots grow deepest here.
Jerry, how are you doing? Wave and all that.
So when we stop by to tell him one of his neighbors is a suspect in a foiled mass shooting plot.
I wouldn't want no part of it. It'd be very scary.
Very scary indeed. Especially when you look at how the FBI describes the suspect. They say a tip claims Stephen Thomas Boley exhibits sovereign citizenship extremism ideology. Another tip said he was planning a mass shooting. History shows us what sovereign citizen extremism can do. Terry Nichols, the co-plotter of the Oklahoma City bombing, was a sovereign citizen.
And I thought it was going to hit me for a second.
Joe Stack, who flew a small plane into an IRS building in Austin, was a sovereign citizen. And the FBI says 6 officers have died since 2010, calling sovereign citizens a growing domestic threat to law enforcement. We noticed Austin police still keep a close eye nearby.
I can drink a cold beer and just enjoy my day.
But for a man who enjoys his swing,
My son Tim,
who reminisces about years gone by, and who enjoys his time with his best friend, ask him about his neighborhood.
what's it like? I don't have it. Me and Jumper are fine. He's got plenty of yard to play in.
He'll tell you it's not reflective of the man agents say lived next door. Boley will have a preliminary hearing in federal court on Thursday. We will be there. Boley is held without bond until then. For the KVUE Defenders, Erica Proffer, KVUE News.
Now, investigators accused Boley of lying about his criminal past in 2 failed attempts to buy more weapons. You can read what agents pulled from the apartment, as well as our full coverage on Boley's criminal history. It's online right now at KVUE.com. New tonight at 10, 2 fatal accidents, one in Cedar Park and one in central East Austin on Manor Road. Austin police say a woman in her 20s was pronounced dead at the scene just before 7:30. It involved a truck and a moped. And part of 183A tollway is still closed tonight after a car hit a barrier and rolled over. One person died, another is in the hospital in critical condition.
Law enforcement across the nation looking for the man that posted a video of the senseless killing of an elderly man on Easter Sunday. Police are offering a $50,000 reward for information that leads to Steve Stevens' arrest. The victim's children refusing to watch the gruesome video that circulated on social media.
I didn't even want to look at the video because I didn't want that to be the last remembrance of my father I had.
But as the manhunt for the killer continues, many are questioning how difficult it is to track him. KVUE's Michael Perchik spoke with a security analyst. He joins us now live in the newsroom with that answer. Michael?
Quita police have released Stevens' picture and vehicle information, but still no luck in finding him. And despite several reported sightings, much of it has been dispelled, only leading to greater hysteria. So what exactly goes into a search of this magnitude? We went to go find out and verify that answer.
Where in the world is Steve Stevens? It's a question that's being bandied about online as people question the difficulty in finding the suspected killer.
No, it's never like in the movies, I'm afraid.
Fred Burden has tracked down terrorists while spending decades working with federal authorities. He's now Vice President of Intelligence at Austin-based Stratfor, a global security firm.
It takes a bit of time to get through his personal network, his family connections, long-lost friends or associates.
In multi-state searches like this one, Burden said local law enforcement will likely reach out to federal authorities like the ATF, FBI, and U.S. Marshal Service for assistance. Still, he adds,
and in all probability, it's going to be a citizen that's going to spot him or the car that's going to be that tip. It's probably not going to be law enforcement.
As technology has become more prevalent, it's tougher to remain off the grid.
It's very, very difficult to hide in our Big Brother state, as some would call it today, with all the facial recognition software, all the license plate readers on toll roads.
Still, the manhunt has its obvious difficulties. From privacy laws to technological applications, tracking a phone isn't as simple as many believe. And while Burden notes the positives of social media in spreading an image, the dissemination of false information can be a major drawback.
Can have others pile on and retweet and so forth and send law enforcement down various rat holes.
In Stevens' Facebook video, he claimed there were several other victims. So far, police have only confirmed one victim in this case. We have a full post of verified information on this ongoing investigation. For more on that, log into our website at KVUE.com. In the newsroom, I'm Michael Perchik, KVUE News Nightbeat.
Michael, thank you. Two bills that would abolish the death penalty in Texas up for debate tonight in the House. The Nightbeat's Tina Shively was there for tonight's hearing before the Committee on Criminal Jurisprudence.
Well, Quita, close to 24 people testified tonight in favor of ending the death penalty here in Texas, some claiming the policy is based more on vengeance than on justice. State Representative Harold Dutton authored one of the two bills to get rid of the death penalty being heard tonight, House Bill 64. If it is passed, the bill would make life in prison the maximum punishment for a minor accused of a capital felony. An adult could get life in prison without parole. A woman whose husband has spent 3 years on death row after she says he was wrongly convicted of murder tells me the system is broken.
So we cannot continue this government program that's not working. You know, it's executed innocent people before. There's innocent people on death row right now. It'll continue to execute innocent people. Why take the chance?
Texas accounts for more than 1/3 of executions nationwide since 1977. That's according to the Texas Coalition to Abolish the Death Penalty. New death sentences have declined nearly 80% since 1999, when Texas juries sentenced 48 people to death. Representative Dutton has issued a version of this bill in every session since 2003. This is only the second time it's actually had a hearing, so he is hopeful it will go to the full House for a vote. Reporting live at the state capitol, Tina Shively, KVUE News Nightbeat.
Thanks, Tina. Now, there have been 4 executions so far this year in Texas. That's according to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, the most recent one just last month. So far, 5 executions are scheduled through the end of July. Last year, Texas ranked second in the most executions with 7. Georgia performed 9. And in Arkansas, legal trouble is keeping executions on hold. It's been more than a decade since the state has performed one, but officials had planned to carry out an unprecedented series of executions because of an expiring drug. Now, a group of capital murderers is in legal limbo.
A couple of on and off showers earlier this afternoon. That continues tonight with temperatures in the 60s across much of the area. Keeping an eye on a couple of showers in the last hour to the north of the area, but those are dissipated. Look at the new development right now in portions of Caldwell, Bastrop, Lee, and Fayette County. Some heavier downpours circulating this area of low pressure cut off from the jet stream. So some on and off showers tonight, tomorrow, and even into Wednesday with a cold front in the forecast. Even some nice cool air behind that front finally as we head into the weekend. Much more on that. We'll talk about those rain chances for the rest of the week coming up.
Thanks, Albert. Blanco ISD meeting today to decide what to do with a middle school counselor accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a student. 43-year-old Lisa Rogers is facing suspension without pay. She's worked for the district for nearly 20 years. School records show she submitted her resignation to the school board one day prior to her arrest. A bill that would make it harder for teachers who have relationships with students to switch school districts is waiting for a vote in the Texas House. Pass the Trash, as it's called, makes moving predators from one district to another by school officials a felony. It also creates a database to track those teachers.
Tomorrow we'll find out just how far Austin leaders plan to rezone the city when they unveil their new zoning map. It's part of their $5 million Code Next initiative to replace the current land development code, which is more than 30 years old. This new plan could change what's being built in the city, but this is only the initial draft. And that's why Mayor Steve Adler is calling tomorrow Austin Everybody Chill Out Day. It's a reminder that the city has a year to make revisions to the plan. As for what to expect, the city hopes to achieve 135,000 new housing units over the next 10 years.